everyone. We are here to present you our Student Financial Stability Research Project by Katie, Jamie, and Riley. In today's agenda, our topic includes research question, hypothesis 1 and 2, our dependent and independent variable, our survey plan, and our sample plan.
So to get started, we wanted to kind of establish our research question. We were given the topic of something with financial, and so we were trying to decide where we wanted to kind of take that. We really thought about ourselves and kind of what our situations are as college students and kind of what issues we have, any problems we run into. And we kind of came to the conclusion that we've all struggled with housing in Marquette. And that I think everyone can agree there's a housing problem. But is that only in Marquette? Is that such a small, minute town? Is that why this is the case? And so we kind of started to think about it, and we were wondering if a student's housing situation affects their financial stability, not only in Marquette, but across the entire United States at any colleges or universities. So the problem we established is that the housing situation for college students in the United States makes it very difficult for students to become financially stable. Our main objective is to measure the financial stress levels of students that are attending college in the United States, and then see if there's a correlation between the different independent variables that we've established, which we'll talk about later on. To put some numbers on it, the average yearly cost to attend college in 2022 was, in the US, was just over $35,000, while the average independent student that was working at least a part-time job is only earning $13,000, or just shy of $14,000 a year. Obviously, the math isn't math on that, and that any good student can't make that work, even with 41% of full-time students working a part-time job at the minimum. So that's minimum 20 hours, and you'll see some statistics later on that it's actually even higher than just the standard 20 hours while also attending school.
So this is our first hypothesis. So students experience a more comfortable financial situation while living on campus. Thousands of college students around the world are struggling with housing issues that stem from their financial instability. When in on-campus housing, you must find, you are provided with multiple meals a day in a living area that you do not have to pay monthly for. After moving on campus, you must find a house or apartment that can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, which does not include utilities that can be anywhere from $60 to $80 a month, with prices going up each year.
So for our second hypothesis, it's students living on campus experience greater financial stress. So we kind of go off of when you're living on campus, all your financial expenses, they go to your tuition that you pay after you graduate. But when you're living on campus, or off campus, I should say, you have month-to-month rent expenses, so you have to worry about making your rent and plus utilities that you're not used to paying. So you also have to have a job, which can be very stressful, time-consuming since you're going full-time to school, so you can only work part-time hours, which for me, it'd be very stressful to do. And then, our dependent variable is financial stress level, and our financial stress level is impacted by our independent variables, which are cost of living, job status, student loans, and parental assistance. We then, in the graph below, you can see we grouped it into 3 groups. So the financial hardship, which would have our cost of living, job status, and student loans, which then would be added onto our perception of situation, which is your self-evaluation financially. So like if you're dissatisfied or satisfied with your financial situation. So then we go on to social support, which that's where your parental assistance is, where your family has financially supported you, which that would be subtracted from the other 2, which it's an increase of money that you get. So that would, the financial hardship and perception of situation be added, subtracted by the social support to get your perceived stress, and that's how we measure the dependent variable.
So our independent variable consists of 4 things, which is the cost of living, student loans, parental assistance, and job status. So for student loans, during the past decades, borrowing for full-time undergraduate students has increased by over 50%. In 2012, over 70% of students graduating from 4-year colleges had student loans. And in 2021, the average amount of student debt continues to hover around $30,000. Student debt has become a burden for most of the working class and has the potential to cause major economic issues. And then the cost of living. As of June 2021, rent prices in 44 of the nation's 50 largest metro areas hit record highs, causing 35% of college students and recent graduates to respond to a survey put out by Realtor.com that they could not afford housing in their own college towns. Pratt Institute in Brooklyn decided that in setting an allowance, $18,500 would cover the cost of off-campus housing for 1 year. Nearly 60% of colleges significantly underestimate off-campus living, not just paying for rent, but utilities, groceries, and gas. Job status. The job status for college students can be very challenging, depending on the availability that the student can spend working while juggling being a full-time student or part-time student. In 2020, the percentage of undergraduates worked at least 20 hours per week were higher for part-time than full-time students. 40% of part-time students work 35 hours or more per week compared to 10% for full-time students. School administration recommends that students ideally work 10 to 15 hours per week. For full-time students, this leaves inadequate time to spend in class and on assignments while exploring interests and building relationships. And lastly, parental assistance. When parents help their children pay for college, this allows them to focus more time on academics, sports, and extracurricular activities. 85% of parents help their students pay for college and living expenses.
So our survey plan. So we comprised of about 22 questions for our survey. This includes both our research questions, specific questions, as well as our demographic questions. Our target kind of audience and respondents that we're looking for are between the ages of 18 to 26. We chose this age because we feel that it kind of engrosses the traditional student. So a student who has similar financial situations as to everybody else, kind of is what we're thinking. So not somebody who has a family or who's maybe a non-generational student and has come back after maybe going in the military or something like that. We are, again, this is across the entire United States, so this survey will be sent to anyone. It can be any university, public, private. We have all those kind of questions are specific in our survey, so we'll be able to determine what universities, what situations kind of are what. We are looking between 300 and 500 survey respondents. Obviously, that 300 number is what we're really looking to achieve. We estimate that our survey will take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. It's pretty simple. There's not any short answer questions. It's mostly multiple choice with one graph where they can choose their stress level in a variety of different situations. For our sample plan, we can have two main ways that we plan to distribute our survey. The first being through social media. So we plan to make posts on Facebook and Instagram to kind of target our personal colleagues, classmates, close friends, anyone really in our network that we can get it out to. Being now we're older, we do know a lot of people in college and maybe people from high school. We're able to kind of distribute more across the country with people from other universities, other just northern. We also plan to do it through text message, so sending, like I said, to our close friends, just sending the link out, kind of getting it to anybody who we know is in that 18 to 26 range and willing to take it and is in college. And then as far as in-person distribution, we plan to print off some QR codes and then stand at the 3 big hotspots on campus, so that's Jamrich, the Lydia Olson Library, and then the Starbucks in Jamrich as well. We chose these 3 places similar to why everyone else did, mainly because they're big traffic spots on campus. Also with Jamrich, and similar to what one of the other groups said, is that we think that we'll be able to get a lot of the younger students. Being now we're all older, we think that we might have some bias being with only off-campus students or people who have similar situations to us, and we do want to target people who live in the dorms as well. So we're hoping that with a lot of the introduction classes being in the lower levels of Jamrich, we'll find some success finding some freshmen and sophomores in there. And then, again, similar to the Jamrich Starbucks, same kind of crowd, as well as getting some off-campus students there too. And then finally, the library. We kind of feel that people who spend a lot of time in the library really are really driven and care about their academia. And so maybe there's a mutual respect there. If we're trying to do something for our academics, then maybe they'll give us the time as to take our survey in the middle of their busy day. So yeah, and that is all. Do you guys have any questions?